Hey y'all, in today's video I got something a little bit different, but I think you're going to think it's cool. I can't tell you where I'm at or whose it is, but it's a cool 80s toy collection I think y'all are going to like. Let me get the camera turned around, we'll take a quick look at it. Dude, what a toy collection.
Hey man, I appreciate it.
Tell me a little bit about how did all this get started?
Well, so I didn't have a lot of stuff as a kid, but I had certain things of certain toy lines. And, as you get older, you're able to afford to buy things, do things and whatnot. And I started collecting back to G1 Transformers in the late 90s. So that's what really kicked it off. Just bringing the nostalgia back,
So when you started this, a lot of this stuff wasn't all that old.
You're right.
10 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
And you were picking it up at dollar stores still.
Well,
Walmart,
no, it was still you would, but it was easier to come by because there wasn't as much of a demand for it.
Right.
And the price wasn't as exaggerated as it is, these days.
Right.
The demand came once once COVID came in. People were, stuck in their house, things like that. That's really when the nostalgia part came back to a lot of people, and that grew up in the 80s with these toys, and that's where it kind of blew up from there.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. So COVID had a positive effect on the toy collector market.
Huge effect on the collector market. Absolutely. Because then once the companies, Mattel and all these companies were seeing where, oh man, these people are really spending some serious money on these old toys. Let's reinvent this stuff, make it newer looking, better quality, stuff like that. More of an adult collectible, and it went from there. But it still doesn't matter. The old stuff, the vintage stuff, that's where it's at.
And so what is the basis of your collection?
As far as, what do you mean?
The theme, where you have to have limitations. You can't collect all toys. Is it 80 toys? Or
it's based around cartoons.
Okay.
The cartoons of the 80s, the He-Man's, G.I. Joe's, Transformers, Mask, the Wheeled Warriors, Thundercats. It based around, my collection is based around the cartoons.
Okay.
And, obviously the toy lines, came with that. So that's where it kind of
Where did it start? What was the first thing you started collecting?
G1 Transformers. Those were my favorite as far as as a kid.
Right.
That's what I had the majority of. It was G1. Then G.I. Joe. I had a few G.I. Joe. Mask. I had a few Mask pieces. Dungeons and Dragons. The Ninja Turtle stuff came in kind of later. Then I was kind of grown out of that. But it's almost like you have to appreciate the vintage part of it.
Right.
That's why you get into the the collecting of that.
Right.
Type of that. All 80s is what I'm saying. Then there's some early 90s that are really cool, but it kind of stops. At early 90s, it kind of you don't really go much farther than that, or I don't anyway.
Right.
In my collecting.
And none of this is done for investment.
No, it's not. I don't collect for investment whatsoever. It's basically one day I'll be we get to that point in life, and this will be where I come to hang out.
So your retirement home is what you're building.
This is where it's at. Yeah.
And how many square feet is all this?
It's 3,000, a little over. 3,000 square feet.
And you say you have plans for expansion?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the way these buildings are laid out, this is not in my house. To let the people know, it's actually behind my house. These are buildings that we put together, and we did all the work. 100% on the inside, so on and so forth. And they're modular. I can stack them and put them in different ways. The longest building that I have right now at this point is 40 feet long. So 40 by 16. So
right.
But it's fun.
Tell me some of your prized stuff. Some of the stuff that you hold most dearest.
Well, obviously the stuff I hold most dearest is my original, and they're in the cases and things like that. But I look at it like this. A lot of people are, they know me. When it comes through the door, it's here. It really doesn't leave.
Right.
So every piece has a meaning to it. There's nothing bought just to buy it. It's got to have an effect.
Right.
Now there are some things, being a collector, that you have to. I'm not I'm not 100% like a completist, but I like to be, if, it'll come to that point.
Right.
On a lot of different lines, but there's just so much, especially when you get into the, all the merchandise.
Right.
Oh man, it gets crazy.
Right.
With the merchandise.
So you're talking about T-shirts and
T-shirts and lunch boxes and just
not toys. Anything but not toys.
Exactly. Yeah. Watches. I mean, it's the porcelain. The porcelain cookie jar.
Right.
The stuff like that. Yeah. It's almost
endless. No, I would think it's endless.
Yeah. Because everybody wanted to put their hand in that cookie jar to make that money. Back in the day.
Right on. And to an 80s toy collector, just give me a couple examples of stuff that would really make a toy collector say, "You got one of those?"
Yeah, like the Dino Riders is a it's not, there's a niche for that. There's a Dino Hunters in the GI Joe building. That's a pretty rare piece, especially sealed, sealed contents type of deal.
What about that big boat?
The big boat. Oh, the USS Flag.
Yeah.
No, though you can buy those. When you're buying something like that, it's more of a condition.
Okay.
Right. Condition on a lot of this stuff is condition.
Right.
The better it is, the ease, the harder. Or let me put this: the better it is, the harder it is to obtain because of the cost.
Right.
You can get them, and I'll put it this way: I've got stuff in here in these buildings that I look at it like this. If I can go to eBay and I can find it on eBay, it's not rare. That's the way I look at it.
I see.
Yeah.
So where do you find it?
Well, that's the thing, man. All of this, I don't necessarily go hunting for this stuff. This is stuff that I come across. Now when COVID came, that's when all the Facebook pages and the auctions made it a lot easier to obtain stuff. But a lot of this stuff is I just come across at flea markets, and they got toy shows and things like that. All over. We go all over the country to toy shows.
Right.
And that's where you find stuff. I've actually started collections at a toy show, not going there to particular buy a piece.
Right.
I see one piece, and I usually start with like the big play set. I will hunt the big play set, and I will build around that.
I got you.
Yeah. Like the flag, you buy the flag, and then you buy the Sky Striker. Then you buy, and you build around that. That's kind of the way,
Did you build all this one toy at a time, or did you buy out collections from people?
No, it's just one toy at a time, man.
No kidding.
Yeah. It's one
And
toy
most
at a
of it was personal hunting, just going in and being like, oh,
See
they
it,
got one of
find it.
those. Oh, that's cool. I've never heard of that, or I've never seen that. Because again, when you started in the 90s, there's no telling what was going to be rare. You could tell G.I. Joes and Star Wars would probably be good at some point, but no telling how it was going to go out.
You don't know. Yeah. And the thing about it is there's people that collect, and there's a lot better, a lot nicer, a lot cleaner collections, this and that. The way I present things, I think, is a little different than a lot of people do. If I need a shelf over here, I'll build it, out of foam. Like you see all the foam work and stuff I do. A lot of people are just that. They're buy and sellers. Now, here's the thing: if you have a piece, and let's say it's not the greatest condition, let's say it's an 8 out of 10, but then you find one that's a 9, right? You sell your 8 and you buy your 9. You keep your 9. I'm kind of different. I keep them all.
I got you.
Yeah, I keep buying on certain lines.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, no kidding. That's why you have shelves. You have one section in the Transformers room where you have all the individuals, but then you have shelves and shelves of extras.
Yeah, and to me, and a lot of people say it's not really the smartest way to collect. I would.
But you're not doing any of this for investment.
Exactly. But exactly.
Right.
And each piece is to me holds something. You
Right.
know, look at it like this: everything in these buildings, every piece in these buildings was some kids.
Right.
That was
Somebody's Christmas present or birthday present or
that
whatever.
was somebody's. You
Right.
know? Yeah. There's no telling. I mean, you don't know where they end up, what's
Right.
happened to them today, where they're at. There's some kid on every-
Somebody watching this video, their toys are probably in here.
Well, and it's
Law of averages.
anything's possible.
Sure.
Yeah.
I bet you meet some interesting people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good people.
Right.
Good people. Good Facebook groups.
Right.
Yeah. BOD.
Yeah.
That's a great group of guys right there. You know, they're real helpful with stuff. You know, Rob Ross. There's a lot of people out there that that really want to see you, and when they know that you're serious about collecting, they want to see you, you know, excel in your collecting.
What's that one more piece you got to get?
That one more piece?
Yeah. I mean, I know, I can tell you're not going to stop, but what's the thing you're hunting for most now, I guess is the best way to put it.
That's the trick. I'm not hunting at all. I'm not looking for anything in particular. I buy it as I come across. See, here's the thing. If I wanted to complete like a Star Wars line, I could just about go to eBay, spend the money, buy it, and just complete it. I like the wild finds.
The hunt.
The hunt.
Yeah.
Even if you go to a toy show, yes, there's tons of toys everywhere, but it's the hunt. You see it, you boom, you know, you lay your eyes on it, you buy it.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Yep. Even if you have it, like you said, I got an 8, but there's a 9, so that's better.
Yeah, and even that new piece, that next piece. Now I've come to a point where it is harder for me to go anywhere, to any show, to do anything that I see something that I don't have.
Right.
Right, because it's just come to that point so many years of collecting.
Sure.
So
how many pieces do you think is in here?
Oh, I couldn't even. I don't know.
No.
I really don't. I don't. I've never taken the time to actually count.
You have some sort of inventory?
Do not.
No.
No, sir. It's cataloged in just where it's at, in the section.
Right.
It's cataloged by the section, and yeah, you know, I'm big on. I don't like to put stuff in boxes. I don't like to put it up in the attic. So if it gets to the point to where I run out of room on something, I will sell it.
Or build a bigger building.
Well, buy another building.
Because that's the plan now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, when I saw pictures of this, because again, I saw this years ago when you had just the Transformers at another house, and it was a door. You said, "Hey, Scotty, let me show you what's back here," and you flung this door open, and it was just Transformers for days. You know, it was like a big, I want to say like a safe, but it was a room just full, like a toy store of Transformers, and I was blown away. And I hadn't forgot about that, but years went by, and a couple months ago, Facebook or something, you put a picture up walking through here, and I was like, "Where is that at?" You're like, "Oh, it's in my backyard. It's my, it's my display now." And so I knew I had to get here, being a child of the 80s and wanting to see all this, and knowing if you had any involvement in it, it was going to be displayed right, and it was going to be something to see. And I know you don't want anybody to know where you're at or who you are even, so I do appreciate you letting me in today to check this out. Very cool, brother.
Yeah, there's only probably 10 people that's ever seen this.
Yeah.
Actually, you know,
right.
I mean, I'm all over the internet with it.
Sure.
But yeah, to actually, no, you're great, man. Absolutely, anytime, every time.
I appreciate it, brother. You're the man. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.